decisions in the WNBA blow me away. I know I did a video already today about Bree Hall being cut by the Indiana Fever, but at least Bree Hall got a chance to play a game in the preseason. At least the team played 2 games in the preseason. At least that happened. At least, at the very least, Indiana gave her a chance to play a game, for which she played well, I thought, for the most part. But WNBA teams are very, very weird. Their operation is one of people that don't really have any idea what the absolute heck they are doing. And I bring this up because Shyanne Sellers, who was picked number 17 in the WNBA draft, was cut by the Golden State Valkyries in less than a week, and before they even had a chance to play a game in in the preseason. And we're going to talk about that real fast because this is the type of stuff that is why it's hard to take things seriously with WNBA franchises. They don't want to move forward. They don't want to look ahead. They don't want to plan for the future. The idea of planning for the future is not in their minds. It's not in their mind. It's not how they operate. They want to keep the old guard of player in the league until they're 100 and the whole nine. And God forbid, God forbid you have a player who might not be ready right this second or might be ready. We don't know. They cut him. Bye. But what does this say about your franchise? What does this say about your franchise? Because it was just a couple of weeks ago where the Golden State Valkyries were saying that it was a shock to get her, right? They said that. I could have swore I saw that somewhere where they said that they were surprised to have gotten her where they got her. I read stuff about her being the steal of the draft. That's what I read. Some people are saying, "Oh, it was stuff you don't know. She's injured. Her knee is messed up. Blah blah blah." You don't know that, and you want to know what? They wouldn't have drafted her if her knee was messed up. Now, would they? Would that make a lot of sense to draft someone when you know that person has a knee problem? In fact, it was announced that she had no knee issue. So you cut her, and besides that, then you have the coach make the following statement. So this is what Golden State coach Natalie Nakase said about Shyanne Sellers. She said she picked up everything we asked her to do, did everything that we asked. It's just that I have to choose the best 12 that are going to fit. Not the 12 best players, but the 12 doesn't mean it's the most talented. It means the best 12. Someone should explain to Natalie Nakase that Golden State is going to suck. Can someone explain that to her? They're going to suck. They're an expansion team. Are you really trying to win in your first season in existence? I'm not sitting here saying trying to win as in trying to win like you're going to win a lot, but this team will look nothing like this next year. You've got a bunch of 1-year contracts on this roster, like you have on pretty much every roster in the WNBA. So you tell me, what benefit specifically did it make to cut your number 17 pick, who you said couple of weeks earlier was the steal of the draft? I don't understand this. It's illogical thinking that's going on here. Because if you look at what was said here, this is by Ohema Nayanin, the general manager, the night of the draft. We were surprised Shyanne was available at 17. Her versatility excites us because it gives us an opportunity to slide her in another position or another. So you have a versatile guard, forward, someone who can play multiple positions, someone who is young, who is been a 3-time Big Ten player, all Big Ten player, who's been a Big Ten all defense, Big Ten all freshman. I mean, been the best player for Maryland for the last 2 seasons, been a 13-point per game or more scorer for her last 3 seasons, has been efficient from the field, has been a pretty good 3-point shooter in college, and you dump her off before she plays one single game in the WNBA. This is what here, let me pull it up again. This is what even ESPN said. I mean, think about this. Even ESPN had people surprised by this decision. You know, people will tell me, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Blase, blase. You don't know what you're talking about." Okay, let me find what I saw. Here we go. Chiney Ogwumike says, maybe give someone an opportunity to play a preseason game before you make a decision. This is a former WNBA player. This is a puzzling move. I don't care how you slice it. Why would you draft her at 17 if you weren't even going to let her make it through the week? Make it through the week. Well, she's already been picked up by the Atlanta Dream. She's been picked up by the Atlanta Dream. But I want to talk about this a little bit more because I saw a video, and I'm not going to name the video. You'll probably figure it out as I talk about it. But this person went over the lineup of the Golden State Valkyries, and I wanted to throw a rock at the screen because it was the most preposterous sack of bogus garbage I've ever heard. For starters, I don't want to hear the pandering of the international player. Let me tell you something, man. The international player is soft. The international player is soft in the NBA. The international player is soft in the WNBA. Yeah, the international player is still soft in the NBA. The NBA softened itself because of the international player. Like, do you think some of these international players in the NBA would survive the rules of the 1990s and the early 2000s? These guys would fold over. They would fold. Every time Luka Doncic cries and bitches and moans, every time he's breathed on, like this guy would have folded like a sack of potatoes in 1998 in that version of the NBA. These people are soft. There's a reason that every time an American goes over to Europe to play in a league in the offseason, that American typically dominates that shit turd league. They dominate. They're the leading scorers. They're the best players because the leagues are soft. They're not talented like that. Remember, these are the same people who people kept saying the reason Caitlin Clark couldn't play on the Olympic team was the physicality of European basketball. Get out of here. There's no physicality in European basketball. UConn would run over the best European professional teams. The team that just won the national championship would run over those teams. The best players in college women's basketball would dominate over there. If Shyanne Sellers does not pan out in the WNBA, where the hell do you think she's going to go play? Europe, China, Japan, somewhere over there. That's where she's going. That's where she's going, and she will be a beast, a starter, a star. And y'all will tell me that they're physical over there. Carla Leite. Oh, by the way, the guy went through the list. Carla Leite is better than Shyanne Sellers. Why? Based on what? Caitlin Chen. Caitlin Chen was a DEI draft pick. Can we stop? Caitlin Chen got drafted by Golden State because she's Asian, because she fits a demographic, because she went to UConn and they did the Paige Beckers favor on national television. You don't want to hear it? It's the truth. She's not very good. Then he meant Justity. Never seen her. Even Kayla Thornton. Kayla Thornton is a flipping role player who's 30 plus years old, who averaged 5 points per game last year, 5.5 per game last year. Hayes. Now, Tiffany Hayes might be better than her right now. Maybe she is. Tiffany Hayes is 35 years old, bro. 35. Tiffany Hayes will not be in the WNBA in 2 years. Hell, she might be out of the league next year. Real talk. Real talk. She might not be in the league next year. She had retired and came back. She's 35. Cecilia Zandalasini. Another one he said. Better than her. Based on what? You mean her 4.6 points per game? He loves these European players, by the way. You know who you know who I'm talking about. It's a love affair with European players. And while there are people that say, oh, well, the addition of the teams was to add American players, that I don't agree with. I don't agree with people saying that. No, it's to add better players. But this presumption that the better players are out of Europe is absolutely asinine, because they're not. Another one he said was better. 3.1 points per game. Come on. Let's be real. So any player on this roster, in his opinion, was better. Hell, Kate Martin. Kate Martin. Let's be real. What did Kate Martin do last year in the WNBA? 2.6 points per game. Now, people can say she got blackballed. Fine. Fine. If you feel that way, fine. Maybe she did. Maybe it was an Asia Wilson thing. Maybe it was. But Kate Martin didn't expect to get drafted. Let's be real. She didn't expect to get drafted. Shyanne Sellers was a projected top 5 pick. Projected. And people say, oh, they dropped for a reason. Yeah, people drop all the time in drafts. Aaron Rodgers was a projected top 5 pick. He went at number, I think, 24. He's a Hall of Famer. There are plenty of players that are projected that drop and then they get picked up and whatever. They either have a great career, they don't have a great career, but it happens a lot. But to sit here and say that you're going to cut someone before they've played one singular preseason game and then say it's about the fit. Like, look at the rest of this rock. Julie Van Loo was the last one. Of course, Julie Van Loo's 32 years old. They play a different position. Julie Van Loo's 5'8". Shyanne Sellers is 6'2". Shyanne Sellers is a hybrid combo guard, point, shooting guard, small forward. She can play all three. Again, Golden State's words. She can play various positions. So the player with all this versatility that you said you did not expect to be available, who did everything that you said, gets cut, but there's nothing wrong with her knee because she said, her sister said it, she said it, the Atlanta Dream picked her up already in a day. Oh, on top of that, just as a reminder, on top of that, let's also hit this. They drafted her. They drafted her with medicals. They had checked her out. You don't draft someone in the WNBA draft that has limited draft space as it is and not have checked her out. You knew her health or lack thereof. So, which means you knew she was healthy. So what does that say about you, the Golden State Valkyries, and your operation? Y'all don't know what the you're doing. It's just that simple. You do not know what you're doing. This is a player who was a projected top 5 pick. A player who should have been drafted by the Washington Mystics. I bet they wish they could run that back now, right? It is this Golden State Valkyries roster sucks. And you got someone arguing that all of these guards are all better than Shyanne Sellers. Get out of here. And every European player is better than every American player. Get out of here. There's a reason the Europeans want to come over here to play. I know they make so much money overseas, and stay the hell overseas if it's so great. But this goes to the WNBA once again with the things, the rules that they've created that force, I guess, kind of force teams to make quick decisions. Shyanne Sellers got cut and she got picked up by the Atlanta Dream literally overnight. And I would tell you right now that the Atlanta Dream are going to have a much better team than the Golden State Valkyries. Why are you thinking that you're going to win this season if you're Golden State? You're not. Your roster sucks. Your team is not going to be good. I can look at Atlanta right now. I can look at their roster right now. They added Tahina Paopao in the draft. You got Imani Jefferson at 5'6". She probably gets cut. Naz Hillman, 6'2", Michigan. Jordan Canada, point guard. Taylor Theory, 6'1", rookie out of Ohio State. Maria Gakdin out of North Carolina. Ryan Howard, Nia Coffey, Haley Jones, Alicia Gray, Ashley Jones, Brianna Jones, Shatori Walker, Kimbrough, Maya Caldwell, and Brittany Griner. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. They got 16 players on this roster right now. If Shyanne Sellers makes the Atlanta Dream roster, which to me would be a tougher roster to crack through because they do have a glut at guard with Jordan Canada, Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray, just those three alone. Those are three starters. Could she make the team as a backup? I think she very well could. I think she very well could. This isn't some loaded deep roster. There are a lot of unknowns on this roster. But the fact that Atlanta picked her up that fast tells you that her knee isn't a problem. Her knee is not the problem. So for all of you that want to sit here and say, oh, she's injured, you have no idea what you're talking about. Because again, this is another roster, another team now that's picked her up, who's checked her out, who's cleared her. You don't pick someone up without having cleared them physically. It just doesn't work that way. They've all checked that woman out. She was put through workouts with probably every team in the WNBA. Remember, they're only 13. She's probably been through every workout. She's probably had physicals done. If she hasn't had physicals done, then you know what? That's another problem with the WNBA, that you didn't give a player a physical. But again, nothing is said by this coach or this GM who 3 weeks ago said we never expected her to get her at that point. She could fit so many different positions. Blase, blase. You're acknowledging she's one of your 12 best players, but she doesn't fit on a team of scrubs. On a team of scrubs. Get out of here. Get out of here. This is nonsense. But you let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this, about her being cut and already being picked up by another team. Does that directly show that Golden State pretty much has no idea what they're doing, which goes to show to me that a lot of these teams have no idea what they're doing, that you would have drafted someone 3 weeks ago and in 2 weeks you cut that person? Well, 1 week into camp. You only had 1 week of working with them. 1 week into camp, cut. Not one game. Don't talk to me about it. Ask Chiney Ogwumike. She played in the WNBA last I checked. She played in the WNBA last I checked. She fell in the draft course. She suffered a knee injury in a game against Texas in January. She played. Like, what are we talking about? She played 31 games. What are you talking about? That wasn't her last game of the season. You want to know what she did from that point on? I'm gonna give you a little tidbit of information. After the Texas game, where they got drummed, the game that she got hurt, she played on the 29th, the 2nd, the 6th, the 9th, the 13th, the 17th, the 20th, the 27th, the 2nd, the 7th, the 22nd, 24th, and 28th. So she played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 games. She played, let's see the minutes. 20 minutes, 25, 23, 36, 32, 34, 35, 31, 38, 19, 36, 41, 36. Let's see how she played. Let's see here. Okay. Oregon, she did not do shit. I will say she had a 0. Penn State, 10. Illinois, 14. Washington, 15. Nebraska, 23. Michigan, 18. Northwestern, 12. Indiana, 25. Ohio State, 21. Michigan, a dud at 2. Norfolk State, 12. Alabama, 28. South Carolina, 10. She played a lot. But yet you got people here saying that all these players on this trash can Golden State Valkyries roster, they're all better than Shyanne Sellers. Stop it. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, subscribe, and follow. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I appreciate y'all. This is Rudy's Rant, Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball. Come on now.